evening. Toastmasters International is a non-profit educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. And our mission, in any other Toastmasters club, is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Specifically here at Watabaruku, we help Toastmasters become advanced speakers through in-depth evaluations and targeted education sessions. Every meeting is designed to challenge your skills, stretch your abilities, and equip you to deliver speeches with greater impact and confidence. At this point in time, I would like to invite the Sergeant at Arms, our acting Sergeant at Arms this evening, Catherine, to please share the meeting rules with us. Over to you, Catherine. Are you there, Catherine?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Sharing a bit.
As Catherine is getting the slides ready, please share them when you're ready. I would like to introduce the EXCO of our Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club. My name is Robert Karanja, DTM, the club president. And in our meeting this evening, we have our Vice President Education, Dr. Kevin Rubia, DTM. Dr. Kevin, please introduce yourself and tell us the last time you did something that was spontaneous.
Hi everyone, my name is okay, you've heard my name. The last time I did something spontaneous, well, I've just jumped into this meeting spontaneously and taken up a role. So that's the last time I've done a spontaneous thing. Back to you.
Thank you so much, VPE Kevin Rubia. Our Vice President Membership, who is not present, is Gilbert Mbemberwa, and our Vice President Public Relations is Maggie Waithira. Our Secretary Treasurer is Serah Wanjiku. Serah Wanjiku, please tell us the last time you did something that was spontaneous.
Good evening, guests and Toastmasters. Last time I did something spontaneous. This week I said hello to my crush.
Very nice. Very nice. That is spontaneous indeed. I hope it went well. The Sergeant at Arms of our club is Tigis Hailu, and our immediate past president is Kevin Kimbio. The last time I did something spontaneous was this morning when there's a part of Ethiopia I've always wanted to visit. And last night, someone was going there and they were like, come with me. And for a moment, I hesitated, but then I decided to wake up early and go there, and it was amazing. Now I'd like to give an opportunity to those of us visiting us for the first time. If you're visiting us for the first time, please raise your hand. Please let us know where you're joining us from this evening. And also, if you're just in the meeting this evening, please tell us where you're joining us from. We have Grace, Waithiru, Rebecca, Yvette, Vivacious, Vivian. Please tell us where you're joining us from. Let's start with Wagudi. And tell us the last time you did something spontaneous. Please unmute yourself.
Okay, my name is Wagudi. I am from Fasaha. The last time I did something spontaneous was registering to come for this Toastmasters today. Okay. And I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking up that challenge and joining us this evening. Next up, we have Vivacious. Vivian, over to you. Please unmute yourself.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. My name is Vivacious Vivian Ongoi. I'm currently serving as the secretary at Kericho Gold Toastmasters. I'm here courtesy of Serah, Toastmaster Serah. She's such an inspiring lady, and Kevin is also a good friend of mine. I have been longing to visit this famous Watabaruku Advanced Club meeting, and I'm glad to be here. So I'll also say that this is the most spontaneous thing I've done, joining this club meeting at least. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Vivian, for joining us this evening. I hope one day we all are referred to as being an inspiration, like Serah or Wanjiku. I think if you're not aspiring to be an inspiration to others, I don't know what you're aspiring to do. Over to our Sergeant at Arms. Are you ready to give us the meeting rules?
Yes, I am. As my screen shares, for some reason it's taking forever. I'm going to start anyway and take you through the meeting guidelines. By attending this remote club meeting, you agree to the privacy policy of Toastmasters International, as well as the unassociated remote hosting service. Some of your personal information, such as name, image, and any shared messages may be shared with other meeting participants and will be recorded by Toastmasters International, who may use the recording in the future as it sees fit. Your remote attendance hereby discharges Toastmasters International from all claims, demands,
We've lost you a bit there, Catherine. In the interest of time, just to remind us, please keep your mics on mute whenever you're speaking as much as possible during the meeting. Please, please share. Please show us your video so that we can see you and you can encourage the speakers. In addition to that, please rename yourself according to the rules that are going to be shared in the chat. If you are a role taker, please put a hashtag, then your role, then your name. If you're a visiting Toastmaster, put the name Toastmaster, then your name. And if you're a guest, put the word guest before your name, then your name. And right now, I would like to do a bit of club business. And first of all, the meetings of our previous meeting were shared by our secretary treasurer in the WhatsApp group for the club members. For those of us who saw them, are there any amendments that you would like to suggest to them? There being no amendments, we adopt those minutes of that meeting as they were shared. An announcement for the club members of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters is that the renewal season is currently going on, and our treasurer has been sharing the payment details in our WhatsApp group. I will encourage all of us to please continue with your commitment to growing as public speakers and leaders by submitting your dues for the next renewal period. We hope to have submitted them by the end of March, and so please do that as soon as possible. Just to remind you, keep your video on, especially during the prepared speeches, to offer visual, positive, and supportive feedback to our members. Tonight's meeting will be guided by our Toastmaster of the day, who will lead us through prepared speeches, impromptu speaking, and evaluations, all tied together by our theme, enoughness. Jacque Njonjo is a member of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club And we are absolutely excited to hear her unpack this amazing theme that has such great promise. And so let us put our hands together for our virtual hands. Let us use our emojis to welcome the Toastmaster of the day to the stage. Over to you, Toastmaster Jacque Njonjo.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Robert. That's a great introduction. Like Robert just said, look, I'm very delighted to be a Toastmaster for the day. And I'd like to welcome you. Robert's done a welcoming already, but I'll welcome you again to the Watabaruku online experience. This is our meeting number 130. And like Robert just mentioned, it's my responsibility to guide you through the meeting. And so I want to sort of start unpacking this theme, enoughness. And as I do that, I'm going to make a few references to certain quotes and certain philosophies out there around enoughness. Now, as leaders, and I think a lot of us are, whether we lead teams, projects, families, or even just ourselves, we are often taught to keep pushing forward, to aim higher, to want more results, more impact, more success. But today, I'd like to invite us to pause and consider a quieter and perhaps a more uncomfortable question, one that doesn't often show up in performance dashboards or even a promotion criteria. How do we know when enough is enough? So our theme today is enoughness. And I recently read an article by a gentleman called Elias Stone titled, "Why Enough is the Most Radical Thing You Can Embrace." In it, he reflects on how easily the pursuit of more becomes automatic, almost unquestioned. You want more money, you want more recognition, just another rung on the ladder. And yet, many of us have discovered that even after reaching those milestones, the sense of satisfaction is almost fleeting. The finish line just keeps moving. So Elias Stone then goes on to say, he came across the Stoic idea of sufficiency. It's a radical concept that success isn't about endlessly accumulating more, but about recognizing when you have enough and leading from that clarity. Now, Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wrote that it's not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. That really hit home when I read that. So those words land quite hard because they challenge a very common leadership trap, mistaking relentless striving for excellence. Excellence is important, there's no doubt about it. But when a leader can't name what enough looks like, the team or their team can end up just running on a treadmill of just never-ending urgency. So to bring the theme to life, I asked a few of today's role takers, what's the word enough means to them? And let me tell you, the answers I got did not disappoint. So for our super grammarian, Serah Wanjiku, enough means showing up ready to learn, having a healthy relationship with feedback, and yes, both giving and receiving, and being comfortable being led once in a while. Because she reckons even leaders need a break from leading. Serah, would you like to tell us a little bit more about your role this evening?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. It is Wanjiku, not Wajiro.
Oh, I'm so very sorry about that. I'm very sorry. Forgive me. I'll change that immediately.
Okay, thank you. So this evening, as the super grammarian, I will listen carefully to everyone who speaks, noting the excellent and the improper use of language, the overused words or filler sounds such as crutches, and it is also my responsibility for the usage of the word of the day. The word of the day was shared on the planning group, and I will also share to the participants of this meeting. Sharing my screen shortly. I'm not very tech savvy. Forgive me if it's all messy. I don't know where to press for it to be full. It did that for me before. It has refused now. Let's work with what we have. So the word of the day this evening. Oh, okay. Apologies for that. The word of the day this evening is marginal. Marginal. The pronunciation is as it is, marginal. Most of us, English is not our first language, so I know we will be struggling, but let us accept the challenge and work with it. As part of speech, it is a noun or an adjective, depending on how you're going to be using it. The derivatives of these words are margin, marginalize, marginalize, marginally, marginalistic. So let's play around with that word. The meanings of this word is slight, minimal, not central, or important. How we can use it as part in an example in a sentence. There was only marginal improvements in her grades, meaning just a small improvement in the grades. The notes were written in the marginal space of the page. That space, in Swahili we say pembeni, that's set aside. It is set aside for writing notes. The third use that you can put it is his role in the project was marginal, meaning he did not play a very big role in the project. Whenever someone mentions the word of the day or its derivatives, please acknowledge them by snapping your fingers or using the hand clap emoji. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening, and once called upon, I will give a report on how all our speakers did. I will also be evaluating the speeches this evening. Over to you, Toastmaster Jackie.
Thank you very much, Serah. Thank you very much, Serah. So next up, and keeping us all honest and on track, sometimes painfully so, is our timer, Brenda Kakayi. For Brenda, enough for her means acceptance of what she has at that point in time. It means she's at peace and she does not crave anything more. Please let us know what your role entails today, Brenda.
Thank you, our Toastmaster of the day. My role is to help keep time using virtual backgrounds. I will maintain a blue background with the word timer and change to green, yellow, and red, each displaying the word of the day, marginal. Prepared speeches and the general evaluator's report are 5 to 7 minutes. I'll show the green card at 5 minutes, the yellow card at 6 minutes, and the red card at 7 minutes. Table topics and language evaluations are 1 to 2 minutes. I will show the green card at 1 minute, the yellow card at 1 minute, 30 seconds, and the red card at 2 minutes. Content and delivery evaluations and the Super Grammarian's report are 2 to 3 minutes. I will show the green card at 2 minutes, the yellow card at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and the red card at 3 minutes. All speakers will appear in the polls. Only those with qualifying time are eligible for awards. Therefore, aim to reach green and conclude within 30 seconds of the red card. A 30-second grace period applies before going under or over time, except for table topics, where the minimum time is 1 minute. I will keep my virtual hand raised for visibility and post each speaker's time in the Zoom chat and deliver my report when called upon at the tail end of the meeting. Over to you, our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Brenda. Now, next is our topics master today, and it's the ever thought-provoking Grace Waithira. Grace told me that recently she had been indulging in Eastern philosophy. There is a strong push by contemplative philosophers to do the least you can to the best of your abilities. This is what enough means to her. So Grace, would you kindly introduce yourself and your role?
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. My role as Table Topics Master is to give Toastmasters and guests an opportunity to practice their listening skills, their critical thinking, and impromptu speaking skills. If you're interested in taking part, please reach out to me, notify me via private message in the Zoom chat, and I hope that we'll have more than just marginal participation in the table topics. Thank you, and back to you, Madam TMOD.
Thank you very much, Grace. And last but not least, and certainly not marginal, is our general evaluator, my namesake, Jacqueline Tallam. Jackie says that enough to me means I need to take action now. I will use what I have at the moment to make it happen. And she ends that by saying, just do it. Jackie, would you please enlighten us on what the General Evaluator does?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Jackie. As the General Evaluator, I provide an insightful and balanced overview of the meeting, celebrating excellence and identifying opportunities for refinement, thereby reinforcing Watabaruku's legacy of advanced communication and leadership. I will deliver my report when called upon. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Jackie. Good. So we're done with the introductions for this section of the meeting, and now we want to move on to the speech session, where ideas take center stage and courage gets a microphone. When I asked Fatma Amiyo, our first speaker today, what enough means to her, she shared this insight. Enough is about having clarity on what you aspire to do as a leader. You don't need perfection to achieve your objectives, just enough to get the momentum going. In other words, enough of the analysis paralysis. Let's get it done. Now, to introduce our first speaker, we have Paul Muwanga. Paul, before you officially take the floor, I'd love to hear from you your thoughts on this quote by Seneca. It's not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. No pressure. Paul, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much, TMOD. I work in an organization where you handle a lot of what is not yours. And sometimes, or most times, you have to grow it to numbers that you cannot even imagine in your head. And so I've learned that it's okay in my role to help others succeed, even when I'm not. That said, it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Toastmaster Fatma Amiyo, who is pursuing the mentor pathway and is at Project 4 a project about mentoring. Toastmaster Fatma is a passionate educator in a management development institution, and the purpose of the project is for her to apply her mentoring skills to a short-term mentoring assignment. In this particular project, she will be delivering a speech where she will be sharing some aspects of her experience as a Toastmasters mentor and what she learned from that experience. Please join me to welcome Toastmaster Fatma Amiyo. You never know, Toastmaster Fatma Amiyo.
Do you know who's listening to you as you take up a role or speak in this meeting? How about if you reach to any of the 22 of us in this meeting? Do you know what would happen? The reality is you never know. One day, as I was serving in a session at the Toastmasters Leadership Institute, one of the meeting participants reached out to me in a direct message. She asked whether we could have a conversation. We exchanged contacts and carried on with the session. Much later, we talked. She introduced herself. She told me there was something I saw as you were delivering that particular section in the meeting. So I was curious, what exactly? So she tells me, you know, currently at work, I really need to refine my communication competencies. And right now, I'm facing glossophobia. I just have fear. Anytime I'm supposed to speak to my team, I don't know what to do. So I listened to her and asked, so how exactly do you want me to support you? So she tells me, you know, I enrolled in Toastmasters, I took up my first project, I delivered the icebreaker speech, and still planning to go deliver the next. So I asked her, do you already have a speech? So she tells me, not quite. So we agree on working towards her next project, which was a level 2 project. The mentoring journey began. We set out, just as advised by the Toastmasters mentoring path, identified what would work for us. We set out very clear deliverables, just in case I would be stuck to this particular Toastmaster, and not in a bad way. So we agreed we would work together until she delivered her next project. Fine. We also agreed on the time, noting that she was very busy, I was equally busy. But we sacrificed lunch hour to meet. We also agreed on the communication channel to use. I told her clearly, online would work for me. We can have conversations and we can meet virtually until a time when our schedules will allow. So we agreed and off we began the experience. We went through what was expected. Identified, do you know where to get the resources from? So we went through navigating Basecamp. Tick. We went through accessing the resources. Tick. We went through the structure of the speech. Tick. Alignment of the speech to fulfill the purpose. Tick. Drafting of the speech. Tick. Trying to rehearse the speech. Tick. Now the hard question came in. When to schedule the speech? So we agreed, clearly you need to take up a speaker role. And since she was nervous, we agreed that she needs to take a number of roles before she took a speaker role. So she signed up in anticipation for the big. So we kept on planning. I have signed up for a speaker role. As the last minute, she dropped off. She told me, I think I'm still not ready. So we agreed. This time round, please, you need to commit. Eventually, she delivered the project. She was so elated when she shared Evaluator resource. Good job. But what did I learn in the process? There are three things that I took away from this experience. The first is that mentoring requires commitment. I know many of us have been mentoring. We've been mentors and we have been mentees, but maybe not as committed. Mentoring requires consistency. It's never about convenience. I found the fact that she reached out to me, she was very committed. In days that we had to call off the meeting because of exigencies of work, at least there was communication. So remember, commitment. The second thing that I picked was that there must be clarity in terms of the value. What are you bringing on board? What is that shared expectation? And the third lesson I picked was that there must be empowerment. You know, I learned a lot from her. As much as we were working, the empowerment is very, very important. I'm reminded of an African proverb that states, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others. So I ask you, Toastmasters and friends, do you know who's listening as you take up any role in a Toastmasters environment? Do you know the opportunities that would come the minute you decide to engage with any of the 23 of us on this call? Please adopt an open mind. Let us engage. Let us connect. Let us empower each other. If I have seen further, it is by standing shoulders of giants. Back to you, our teacher of the evening.
Thank you so much, Fatma. That was a truly insightful and inspiring speech on mentoring. Oh, I can see we've already got the audience feedback poll that's been put up for all of you to provide some feedback to Fatma's speech. Please feel free to share your observations. Remember to be kind, constructive, and share your feedback with love. Now, as we wait for the poll to be pulled down, we're just about to move into our second speech, and I would like to hand. First of all, Ali Makori our second speaker, did give me some insights into what enoughness means to him. And Ali is really good at getting some very insightful quotes. So according to Ali, enough to me is just that which leads to positive outcomes, however small, of self and others. You're enough just as you are. And this is from Jane Austen. Now, without further ado, I'd like to hand the floor over to Robert, DTM, who will introduce Ali Makori. But before you take the mantle, Robert, let me ask you this. What does enough mean to you?
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Enough means to me, something that brings you close enough to the mission that you have as a group. And so having that North Star always guiding you on what you are trying to accomplish is what enough means to me. And it's a great pleasure for me to be evaluating Toastmaster Alligator Makori this evening. He is currently taking on the DTM project, the Distinguished Toastmasters project. And this evening, he's going to be delivering the first speech of his DTM project. And the purpose of this speech is for Alligator to share his plan and vision. And so we are going to listen for a well-organized, well-executed speech about the plan to accomplish the project of his own design. He can speak about the plan for the entire project or share an aspect of the plan. Alligator Makori is going to have 5 to 7 minutes to deliver his speech. And the title of the speech is To Smedley and Beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, Alligator Makori, To Smedley and Beyond, To Smedley and Beyond, Alligator Makori.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, tonight I want to invite you to fasten your seatbelts because we are just about to take off, aiming for Smedley and beyond. Unlike NASA, we are not going to use billions of shillings or dollars. No, we just need commitment, creativity, and maybe copious amounts of East African tea. Walt Disney said, it's kind of fun to do the impossible. And that is what we want to do. If Smedley Distinguished Club status, award, seems impossible, that is what we want to achieve for Watabaruku Bilingual, Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club. You see, we were bilingual for quite a long time. And when we reach there, we don't want to stop there. We want to go beyond and chart the path for many more to follow. We compare very well with a rocket launch. A rocket launch needs 3 ingredients. 1, fuel, huge amounts of it. 2, a launch pad. And 3, a destination. You must know where you're going. Our fuel is member growth. Could I see just by a show of hands emoji or something, how many of us here are not yet members of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club? We love you. Just indicate by raising your hand virtually. Thank you very much. You are the fuel that we are looking for. You may lower your hand now. The launchpad is teamwork. We must work together. And the destination is excellence. Norman Vincent Peale is a decorated American. He was a writer, he was a preacher, he was many things. And he said, shoot for the moon. And if you miss, you land among the stars. Clearly, he must have lived at a time when he didn't know that the moon is closer than the stars. But you get the point, yes. And if we miss, DTM Waithira will remind us that deadlines are not suggestions, they are lifelines. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a stellar crew to take us to the stars. First up is our VPE. And our VPE is none other than Dr. Kevin Rubia, DTM. Yes, he's the professor of progress. Yes. He ensures that every member's journey is mapped like a syllabus, and he is my mentor. I'm happy to have him on board. Our VPM, Toastmaster Gilbert Rutebemberwa. If you can be able to pronounce that name, then you definitely deserve an award. Yes, Gilbert Rutebemberwa is our Vice President membership, and he is the recruiter in chief. He's the one who gets us the fuel. And if you give him 5 minutes, he could convince a goat to join Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club. And of course, you know, goat means greatest of all time, didn't you? Helen Keller, another illustrious lady, said, alone we can do so little, and together we can do so much. So our last member is a lady, like Helen Keller was. And this is our VPPR, Maggie Waithira, that I mentioned earlier on. She is the voice of Watabaruku, and she will ensure that the world not only knows that we exist, but that we are absolutely fabulous. And are we not? What's the vision? In this DTM project, we are not stopping at Smedley. No, we are building a Toastmaster space station. I heard that Elon Musk gave up on the project Mars. No, we want to do better. We want to go where growth is unlimited and evaluations are oxygen. Yes, our celebrate. Future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. These are the words of the longest serving American First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt. And yes, we have a dream here at Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club, and we'll not only achieve Smedley Award, but we'll create a culture where every member indeed feels like a star. Yes, so that we are a galaxy at Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club. We need you on board in order to achieve this. So tonight, I wish to declare Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club is on a countdown. Yes, the engines are roaring, the crew is ready, and the vision is clear. By June 30th, 2026, we will not only reach Smedley's Distinguished Club Award, but we will go beyond, lighting the path for others to follow. Because Toastmasters is not about reaching the cliche of the sky being the limit. No, we go beyond, we dream bigger. And together, we all have the courage to do that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To Smedley and beyond. Madam Toastmaster.
That's fantastic speech, Ali. Wow. To Smedley and beyond. What a fantastic speech. I actually didn't know that Elon Musk had given up on the Mars dream. So really, really nice to know that, Ali. Let's hear it one more time for Ali. Perhaps another round of applause. Now it's time for us to vote for the best speaker. So I'm going to hand over to our SAA to put up the poll for the best speaker poll. And once that's done, we'll also have an opportunity for the audience to provide some feedback. Again, let's be kind, let's be honest. Growth lives here. So let's feedback. Now, as we all go about completing the poll for the feedback session, I thought I'll just try and tie us back to the theme of enoughness by introducing what I'd like to call the trap of more. It's very easy to get stuck in the mindset of just one more raise, one more achievement, one more thing to buy. We literally convince ourselves that once I get that, I'll be completely satisfied. But spoiler alert, satisfaction rarely sticks around for long. In leadership, this more mindset often shows up as just constantly escalating targets, endless urgency, and teams that never feel like They've done enough, no matter how hard they work. That's why defining enough isn't about settling. It's about setting a very clear and healthy standard. I'll refer back to the Stoics, who warned us about this. Seneca called the craving of a bottomless pit. The more you feed it, the hungrier it becomes. And with that thought in mind, and as soon as we're done with the polls, it's time for our table topic session. But before I hand the floor over to Grace, I think I have to ask Grace. Grace, have you ever found yourself in a place where you're caught up in the just one more trap?
Certainly, I have. And I know all of us have. You're waiting in line, in the bouquet, the banquet, you can smell the food, and you pick one more piece of meat, and before you know it, your plate is overflowing. So for the table topic session, you are called upon to speak on your feet. Before you take the opportunity to speak on your feet, I would encourage you to unmute, turn on your video if possible. Take a moment to think before you speak. You don't have to tell the truth. Speak for at least 1 minute, and that is going to be indicated by the timer's green card. Then use the word of the day, marginal. Conclude within 30 seconds of the timer's red virtual background. Our first volunteer this evening is none other than TTM Kevin Rubia. Kevin, do you think leaders who are never satisfied create stronger or weaker teams?
As a leader, it is said, yours is to know the way, show the way, and go the way. The question begs, however, how do you know, show, and go the way if you are never satisfied? I am a recovering perfectionist since birth. In fact, when I was born, I cried perfect punctuation. Making sure that I dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's. But as I became older, I learned that progress is better than perfection. I took on my first contest when I joined Toastmasters and was beaten at the area contest. That showed me that it's not a matter of being perfect. That growth that I had, though marginal, joining a Toastmasters club and participating in my first contest in 5 months was still great. Today, I stand as a distinguished Toastmaster, or rather, I see it as a distinguished Toastmaster, asking each of us in our leadership journey, be it in participating in contests or serving as a role taker in a meeting such as this, do not despise the marginal growth that you see. At one point, it will become monumental. And even if no one else will notice, you, that leader who has become a leader in Toastmasters, will know and celebrate yourself when that happens. Madam Topics Master.
Toastmasters, did you cry using punctuation? What a hilarious speech, Toastmaster Kevin, and also very informative. Toastmaster Nelly Kimani, if you became the president today, do you think you'd have enough to leave a legacy in your country? if you became the president today, do you think you would have enough to leave a legacy in your country?
As the president, I would make sure I only have one thing that I'm focusing on. Not everything. I cannot be a master of, I cannot do everything and expect to be a master in everything. I would make sure I have just one main legacy that I'll be working towards. I have a passion in education, and especially primary education. That is the most important part of anybody's life. That teacher who taught you how to blow your nose. That teacher who also taught you how to speak good English and even to cry in punctuation marks and realize that those are punctuation marks. That would be my main goal. Making sure that all the
Toastmaster Nelly, we seem to have lost you. All right, in that case, let us move on to the next speaker. Toastmaster Vivian, have you ever felt that you are not enough for a leadership role? How did you overcome that feeling?
Enough is a word. Just like some have said that no is a sentence. And tonight, I'm here to share with you a story. Back in 2024, when I was given a leadership role, I was entrusted to be a member of parliament at our school, Technical University of Mombasa. At that time, I felt I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared for the politics, the shenanigans and the dramas that happen in the marginal line where no one talks about, and all the behind-the-scenes stories that come along with politics. And so there I was. I decided to try to just risk it out. Little did I know that this will turn out to be the small driving force that influenced the politics, the love of politics in my life. And after that, it made me even want to vie for a higher position come the following year, which was the deputy president and also to the finance secretary at Technical University of Mombasa. Today, I stand before you because I came to learn that leadership does not really need a lot of readiness. I came to learn of the saying that says that experience or learning comes when comfort ends, and when you choose not to be comfortable is when you get to learn. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, I invite you today at whatever the moment or the task that you're given and you feel that you're not ready, that you still have time, you can learn in the process and come out being the best. Thank you. Back to you, Table Talk.
Thank you for reminding us that we can learn as we go. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vivian. Rebecca Sakwa, when does striving become unhealthy? When does striving for more become unhealthy? Rebecca, over to you.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. Apologies, my video may not be as clear because I'm inside a car driving and it's dark now. When does striving become unhealthy? When the pursuit of excellence, the pursuit of high positions, the pursuit of promotion, the pursuit of being famous or fame takes precedence over relationships with the people around us, with our loved ones, takes precedence over rest, takes precedence over enjoyment of life as it is, then it becomes unhealthy because now you cannot rest because I need to get this work done, so this and exceed everyone else at work. You can't enjoy anything that you have because the other person has an even better car than you have. You can't enjoy your family because I think the other family is probably better. I need to do different. And so you forget to enjoy and savor the moment that you're in because you're always vying for better, always thinking the grass is greener on the other side. And that becomes unhealthy because life is for living. Life is for enjoying. And this is not so that we should not pursue greatness beyond where we are, but we should also learn contentment and enjoyment of where we are already. And yes, there's room for improvement, room to get better, but not at the cost of contentment, not at the cost of peace, of enjoyment. So when it goes beyond in having comfort and having contentment, then striving becomes unhealthy. Over to you, topics mistress.
When positions and the trappings of power supersede your relationship. Thank you, Toastmaster Rebecca. Lillian Simiu. How do you personally define enough in your life right now? How do you personally define enough in your life right now? Kindly turn on your video and your mic and respond to the question. If not, then we can try Faith Abuya. Faith, are you able to respond to the table topics question? Or we can have a volunteer for the last question.
And we volunteer Donvin Oguda.
Donvin. Donvin is an evaluator, but we will still volunteer him. Donvin, how do you personally define? How do you personally define enough in your life right now?
For anyone who'd know me, Donvin is that kind of a person who'd want to do the best. Someone recently told me, your middle name could be equated to excellence. And don't get me wrong, I believe, given a chance to name, I would be Donvin Excellence Oguda. I may not be excellent, but do I desire to be excellent? Yes, I desire. Personally, I believe I'm excellent. I don't know what you think I am. Big question, therefore. What is enough? When I give my all, give my best, then I believe it's enough. It falls short, just as Ali rightfully said, aim for the sun, and if you miss it, you'll fall near the sun, and probably get just that which you need. Allow me to speak to you Toastmasters this evening. While you may want to keep pushing yourself, you need to know when to keep pushing, when to keep going, and when to know you've done it all, just so that you take care of your mental health. Because knowing when enough is important for any one of us in ensuring that we take care of ourselves. Knowing when you've put in enough and appreciating yourself, giving yourself a pat on the back, because your best is excellence. Your best may not be Ali's. Your best may not be DTM Karanja's, but your best is it. So when I've given my best, it's enough. If it's not good enough for you, up to you. But for me, I'm content. I've given my best and my mental health is very well taken care of. And I can sleep with my shoes on because I know enough is enough. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Wow, Donvin would sleep with his shoes on. What a great reminder for us to give our best, but to show up fully and serve with excellence yet balancing it with ourselves. Reminder that we should always take care of ourselves and nurture the relationships that we have and not go overboard. Just live a little, marginally work to ensure that your relationships are still working. I had to throw that in there, Madam Grammarian. Thank you, and over to you, Madam TMOD.
Thank you so much, Grace. That was a fantastic session. I really enjoyed it, by the way. Well done to you. I'm just going to wait for the Sergeant at Arms to, the SAA to put up the poll for the table topics. Yes, please do go ahead and complete the poll. I am just looking at the time and trying to see whether we have a bit of time for a break. I note that our break should have been 3 minutes ago. So I probably would just ask that you pause for a few minutes and complete the best table topics poll, and then we'll jump into the next session. I vote that we dispense with a break. Okay. Good. All right, then. I think the poll is now done. And so I want us to sort of move into the next session, which is, I think, what truly makes Watabaruku online experience stand out. The famous triple-tiered evaluation. Yes, you had that right. Not one, not two, but 3 evaluations. Because at Watabaruku, one perspective is never enough. So we'll be hearing from 3 evaluators, all sharing their insights on our first speaker's speech. So I'll ask all of you to fasten your seatbelts, like Ali just told us, and get your notebooks ready. Now, leading us off is Paul, our content evaluator, who will focus on what was said. He'll then be followed by Donvin Oguda, our delivery evaluator, who will tell us how it was said. And finally, we'll hear from Serah Wanjiku, I hope I got that name right this time round, our language evaluator, who will make sure that the English language was treated with respect, or with the respect it deserves. So over to you, team. Let the triple wisdom begin. Over to you, Paul.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. And thank you very much, Toastmaster Fatma, for your speech that I will evaluate based on the 3 aspects of purpose, development, and value. I liked the way you were able to meet the purpose of the speech, where you were supposed to, and you ably demonstrated how you are able to plan and execute your mentoring program, to understand how you understood your role as a mentor and how you were able to actively mentor your protege. From a perspective of development, I liked how you were able to put your speech together, explaining how you are able to build rapport and how you allowed your protege to think on her own and come up with her own judgment, and even how you did not give up despite that there was a temporary setback when she postponed her speech. That was very valuable for me and I liked it a lot. What I would have liked you to include in that content would have been to try and talk about how she felt after the speech. And that would have been to say there should have been an evaluation, which is a very important thing in Toastmasters, that even after a speech, it's nice to meet your evaluator and you start thinking about what you did well, what you would need to improve, and how you will move forward in your speech delivery and Toastmaster journey. But I liked so much from a valuable point of view that you are able to share your learnings of commitment, consistency, and empowerment. And I believe as a result of all that, that you have ably met all the purpose of the project, and you have done well on your speech today. It is now my pleasure to invite the delivery evaluator, Toastmaster Donvin, to give his evaluation. Thank you.
Toastmaster Fatma, it's a pleasure to see you take on the stage and deliver. I'll be evaluating on the premise of the physical presence, voice, and platform style. I'll take the normal sandwich process where I'll speak on a number of things. What did I love about your presentation? As you can see, I had to find a space in very awkward places just to demonstrate the need for us to see your upper torso so that the gestures are not missed along the way. Your physical presence was felt and you could see your gestures. As much as you could see the waist, but we could see a big proportion of the speech facilitating us seeing a lot that you'd want to see. Secondly, your delivery speed was good, spoken in a way that allows the message to marinate and for us to absorb it fully as we'd need to. You're not in a rush to leave the stage, and do not take too long for us to get bored with you. You're just moving majestically, owning the stage in terms of time. That was good. What area would I recommend for improvement? Number one, your body language. Fatma, you're a very happy lady. We all know that. And even in disappointment with your mentee, you're still looking like happy with them. I would have loved to see that disappointment painted on your screen. Secondly, you had the opportunity to bring in personification when you engage the mentee and the mentor speaking. It gives an opportunity for us to build a visual image of that journey. While yes, you can narrate it, but using personification allows us to visualize and bring it home. Thirdly, your use of gestures. While you use your hands, they're controlled, but you can find consistency. What do I mean? For instance, 1 where it's there, 2 where you have 2, and 3 where we have 3, consistently used throughout the speech. In that particular manner, then even if I couldn't hear, but I had some idea of your gestures, then I could follow you through the meeting and understand your message very well. Fatma, continue speaking to us in a way that allows us to hear your message with your speech. Use that clear language that you understand with a good use of the frame. Let's work on your body language and try dramatizing using gestures that makes the message land home. With this, I'm sure we'll be seeing you in greater stages, not to mean that this stops you, because we hope to see in greater stages, but keep doing what you're doing so well. Allow me to invite our next evaluator, Serah Wanjiku, for the language. Take it away.
Thank you, delivery evaluator Donvin. Toastmaster Fatma, I really enjoyed your speech this evening, and my duty was to evaluate on the appropriateness and the correctness of your language in your speech. What do I mean with this? Was it clear understanding of purpose? Was there language fitting for the occasion? Was the grammar, pronunciation, and the word selection correct? I must say that you did very well in all this, Toastmaster Fatma. You used rich words like competencies, equally, communication channels, not just the simple words that we use in our everyday talk. You use decorative language to depict your speech, like elated to show that you were very happy, competencies to show expertise, and something as simple as the communication channels, which you would have used other words like Zoom or something or WhatsApp, but you chose to use this decorative language. You also came up with amazing sayings, and they were a lot of them, but I stuck to one stuck in my mind. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go further, go together, meaning showing that togetherness. Thank you for that, Toastmaster Fatma. To make your grammar even better, I noted a few differences that you could work on. As much as we are asked to use pauses as we speak to organize our thoughts, a prolonged pause may do the opposite. And with this, I noted you filled in the long pause with some clutch words like you know and now. You used that twice, and kindly look into it in your next speech. Other than that, good use of the English language and keep it up. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much, Serah, for that super evaluations on the use of language. Now, we're now moving on to the next dose of this triple wisdom, as we've got 3 evaluators who are going to take on the important task of evaluating Ali Makori's speech. And leading the charge is Robert, our content evaluator, who will tell us what was said and whether it actually hit the mark. He'll be followed by Dean, our delivery evaluator, who will let us know how it was said and what style points were included. And finally, rounding out this powerhouse trio is our super grammarian, who will again evaluate the language and make sure that the English language leaves this meeting feeling proud. Over to you, Tim. Let the evaluations begin. Robert?
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. It was a great pleasure for me to be evaluating the first speech of Alligator Makori's DTM project speeches, and the purpose of this project was for him to share about the plan, either the entire plan or share an aspect of it. And so I'll go right into my evaluation. First of all, the general and specific purpose of Alligator Makori's speech was quite clear to me, because it was right from the very beginning that he wanted to help Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club to become a smedley distinguished club by the end of this Toastmasters year. In addition to that, in terms of the value of the speech, it was meaningful to the members who are present at this meeting, especially the members of our club, and the subject matter was appropriate to us. In addition to that, I thought the organization of your speech was logical and clear to me, because you introduced what you're going to talk about, and then the steps that are important for us to achieve this vision. You talked about your team, then the vision, then concluded your speech. So I thought that was very well done. Areas of improvement: I felt the introduction could have been slightly different in terms of the attention getter, because you went straight into talking about smedley, but maybe taking some time to grab the attention of the audience, to transfer it from the previous speaker. And in addition to that, making the fact the topic relevant to the members of the audience, because not everybody I think is so passionate about becoming a smedley Toastmasters Club, and so making it relevant to us at the very beginning of your speech. In addition to that, the transition could have been smoother in terms of when you moved from the things that we need to do in order to achieve this goal, then going to the team, and then going to the vision. I felt that you jumped pretty much from one of those to the other. Maybe having like a transitional statement or phrase that is going to make it smoother. You could have the conclusion, reviewing what you had just talked about, and then a specific call to action. Like right now, members of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club, what can we do to move a club closer towards becoming Smedley Distinguished might have been helpful. I loved the fact that you used the same analogy throughout, where you talked about the rocket launch, and especially the way that you concluded your speech by doing that countdown 1, 2, 3 to Smedley. I thought that was well done. So you had clear purpose, meaningful value, logical organization, improving the attention getting at the very beginning, the transitions, the conclusion, a specific call to action, and great job on using a consistent analogy throughout your speech. Over to you, Dean Robertson, to give us the delivery evaluation of Makori's speech.
Thank you very much, Robert. Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed the speech on Smedley and beyond. I enjoyed, especially being a delivery evaluator, I liked that particular role because it's all about how does it come across? How does it look? How is it inspiring people? How's it drawing me in? I like how you did the three criteria for your vision, but I also like how you have the 3 officers in the club that's going to help us reach that goal. As a delivery, I would really, I would have liked to have seen, maybe you could share the screen and share the billboard that shows what is presence distinguished, select distinguished, and because Smedley is now the new level of accomplishment for a club. And even though we're all in here in the advanced Toastmasters club, I'm still amazed by people who've been here for years, and even officers. They don't even know what Club Central is. But your voice was engaging. You had energy. As Donvin did his delivery of evaluation for his speaker, I like how I was able to see his whole body. I would like to have seen that with you, if you could position your camera to where we could see more of you, because you had wonderful gestures, you had wonderful voice fluctuations and ups and rises in your voice. However, I would have especially enjoyed seeing if you had did the Smedley and Beyond, like we have with Toys, the animated picture, when he was like, to infinity and beyond. If you would have been, we're going to be Smedley and beyond, and really put some emphasis on that to bring some more enthusiasm into the speech. But I like your passion. I am pretty sure that with all the people who are here, you're going to accomplish wonderful things. Great delivery. It kept me engaged. I like seeing your smile. That to me is also engaging. No one wants to see a sourpuss speaker with no facial expression. So you did wonderful with that. I just would like to just see more of you, more of your body. If you can position your camera, and that way we can see your whole self doing your gestures. And we had great vocal variety. So I really enjoyed that. So thank you so much. I wish you all the best of success in your goal of being Smedley, because this is not a marginal club, and this was not a marginal speech. It is to cause us to be better, and do some great things. So let's all do it together with Ali Makori. Thank you very much. And now I will introduce our next evaluator, which is Serah. Take it away.
Thank you, Dean. I'll go straight to Alligator's evaluation. Alligator, your name in itself is a vocabulary. It's a beautiful, beautiful name. In appropriateness and correctness, you did really well. We all know that you are one of the best speakers that we have, and you did not disappoint this evening. You used words like, phrases like, fasten your seatbelts, meaning get ready. Copious amounts, meaning a lot. And with this, you glued the audience to listen to you and to want to hear more from you. You had amazing references to your crew, like a stellar crew that you are working with, Dr. Rubia and DTM Maggie, creating a culture. I also loved how you used phrases and quotes, like the one from Walt Disney. It is kind of fun to do the impossible, bringing in Walt Disney in a place like this, him creating the cartoons and you bringing in such a serious speech. That was amazing and well done. You let us know phrases like feel like a star and we are a galaxy. What this does, it just brings in the feel good hormones to people and just uplift the spirits. Thank you for using that in your language. I also liked how you brought in emotion with some of these phrases, with encouragement and inspiration, like you're the fuel that we are looking for. The audience who had a doubt in joining Watabaruku will be clicked into this because of this phrase that you used. Other than that, I did not note any differences in your speech, and I encourage you to continue being a source of inspiration in well-spoken English. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much for that wonderful evaluation session. Now, before we jump into the next section of our meeting, I would like, yes, please, the SAA has already posted the best evaluator poll, so please do go ahead and choose your best evaluator. So SAA, I don't know if this is a good point, a good time to just raise the fact that Vivian says that she was omitted from the table topic poll. I don't know if there's any way we can either redo it or see how we could include her in that poll. I know the poll has already been run. I'm not sure how we deal with that now that she was a table topic speaker, but her name was not included. Right, as the SAA figures out what next and what to do, please do complete the best evaluator poll. And before we transition to we're almost getting to the end of the meeting, the reports, let's take one sip of our theme for today, enoughness. And this time it's going to be served with a generous helping of gratitude. So gratitude is one of the simplest ways to embrace the idea of enough. When we shift our focus from what's missing to what's already present, we often discover that abundance has been quietly sitting there all along, just probably wondering why we've ignored it all this time. And here's the leadership connection. Grateful leaders notice effort, acknowledge progress, and create teams where people feel seen, not just pushed, not just chased or caffeinated. So learning to embrace enough doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice, a daily choice to stop chasing, to start appreciating, and to redefine what success really means. But once you begin, you may notice a powerful shift. Life feels just a little bit lighter, simpler, and perhaps far more meaningful. And as leaders, when we clearly define what enough looks like, both in results, but also in behavior, we give our teams something priceless. We give them clarity. We give them fairness and room to grow sustainably without burnout as a KPI. So with that, I'd like to hand over to our timer, Brenda, for her report. Over to you, Brenda.
Thank you, our Toastmaster of the day. I'm delighted to return with my report. We started the meeting on time at exactly 7 p.m. Our business session was allotted 10 minutes and we spent 10 minutes and 53 seconds. We lost time with getting the SAA to share her screen of the meeting etiquette, and she eventually lost the connection. Our introductions were allotted 15 minutes. We spent 12 minutes and 33 seconds, and thus saved some time. Our prepared speakers were all within time. Our first speaker, Fatma Amiyo, was allotted 5 to 7 minutes. She spent 7 minutes and 9 seconds. Second speaker, Ali Makori, was allotted 5 to 7 minutes. He spent 6 minutes and 58 seconds. Our table topic speakers were all within time. DTM Kevin Rubia, 2 minutes and 10 seconds of the allotted 1 to 2 minutes. Nelly Kimani was cut off at the 1 minute mark. Vivian Wangui's, Vivacious Vivian Wangui spent 1 minute and 42 seconds. And we went slightly over time with an additional, Rebecca Sakwa spent 1 minute and 50 seconds. We went a little over time with a fifth speaker, over time for the session, but our speaker did speak within time. Donvin Oguda, he spoke for 1 minute, 53 seconds. Our evaluators were all within time. Our content evaluator 1, Paul Muwanga, 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Donvin Oguda, 3 minutes and 5 seconds. They both were allotted 2 to 3 minutes. Our language evaluator, Serah Wanjiku, spent 2 minutes and 23 seconds, which was within time. She was allotted 1 to 2 minutes. Our content evaluator 2, Robert Karanja, DTM, spent 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Our Dean Robertson, DTM, spent 3 minutes and 19 seconds. They were all allotted 2 to 3 minutes, so they're all within time. And our language evaluator, Serah Wanjiku, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. We did save time, especially during the transition, so well done to our evaluators. During the introduction of the role takers, we did save time. All our functionary role takers spoke within their allotted time. Timer, 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Super Grammarian, 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Topics Master, 30 seconds. Our General Evaluator, 29 seconds. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Brenda. Next up is Serah, our super grammarian. And yes, she's still very super. So over to you, Serah. Please do give us your report.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, for this opportunity again. I'll go straight to it. I have already evaluated the speakers, so I'll go to how we did. First, how we did with the word of the day. The word of the day was barely used. And by this, I just mean Toastmaster of the day used it once. Then we had DTM Dean using it 3 times. We had Vivian using it 1 time and once during the evaluation. I was thinking it was quite a simple word. Maybe it did not fit in our speeches, but all in all, thank you for taking up the challenge. We did well, amazingly well with the language, with our Toastmaster of the day giving us rich phrases like never-ending urgency, you are enough just as you are, growth lives here. Anybody who has attended this meeting the first time and hears that growth lives there, they will definitely be coming back. And let the evaluations begin. This brings in that rush of adrenaline that we are doing this. She had amazing, amazing words like fleeting, stoic, mantle, put up the pole, not just the ordinary words that we use in our everyday language. Madam Toastmaster of the Day, however, you were the queen of arm. You clutched on arm quite a number of times. I actually lost count, to be honest. Maybe you can look into that. Also 4, and this was something that you liked using a lot. Our evaluator poll, you used words like a passionate educator. Well done on that. We had the table topics, Toastmaster Vivian using the word of the day, like I had said. She used pick on your feet. She also used, this was for the table topics master, sorry, not Vivian. We had our table topics master using marginal ones. She used a phrase like, speak on your feet. In our table topics, we had Toastmaster Kevin using words like, he is a recovering perfectionist. I felt that was very, very creative. He used a phrase like, progress is better than perfection. I like that. It is simple and has a lot of impact. However, Toastmaster Kevin, I feel, DTM Kevin, instead of saying that you were beaten during the area contest, beautify it by maybe using defeated or humbled or conquered or annihilated, because we are an advanced club. Other than that, I loved how you used in monumental and the rich use of the saying that you did. Saying that we should give ourselves a pat on the back, keep it up. In our evaluations, I loved how we use phrases like reach our purpose, but we can even make it better by saying accomplish instead of reaching the purpose. The use of the word protege, rapport, this was beautifully used by our evaluator of the evening. Other than that, amazing people, I have had a lot of fun, considering this is a role I have not taken up in almost 5 years. I have been a Toastmaster. This is the second time in 5 years, because it's a scary one. I've enjoyed myself and I will be definitely taking it up again. Let's continue practicing the word of the day in the matatus, in hospital, in the market, not to intimidate people, but just to make it something that we practice and make our English even better. Over to you, our Toastmaster of the evening.
Goodness, it gets better and better. Thank you very much, Serah, for that extremely comprehensive report. And finally, over to the general evaluator, Jackie.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, Jackie. Well, taking up the general evaluator's role at an advanced Toastmasters club is a challenge that I truly appreciate. And Toastmaster Kevin Rogia reached out to me 2 weeks ago. That means it will help me in answering my first presentation report. Were all role takers filled in good time? I believe so, because 2 weeks ago I knew I was going to be the general evaluator. And today I'm in the learning process. I was learning how to deliver everything. It's one challenge that I'm grateful. In my theme this year, becoming bold enough, growth in action. The agenda and the word of the day was shared early. Speakers and functionalities responded to the theme question promptly, though I noticed some of them we delivered a little bit late, and some had to answer while they were being introduced. There was a dry run to help speakers and functionalities prepare. This was done on Tuesday, and luckily I joined and we had a good dry run session led by Toastmaster DTM Kevin Rubia. We got to understand how the meeting will be is structured and the unique qualities that advanced Toastmasters has that we had to learn before we start the session. And I really appreciate for that dry run. It has really helped us, especially me, to be confident enough to proceed in today's session. Pre-meeting setup. Attendees were welcomed warmly, though we started in our program. The members were to join at around 6:30. We started at around 6:50, though we had some silence. There was some awkward silence. I think the SAA was having some technical challenges. There was an awkward silence before we started the, what is it called, interactive word game or check up on audio visibilities, though later on we had a chance to do that. We didn't get a chance to test our audio and videos, but we went direct to the interaction word game that was led by our SAA, Catherine. The word game sparked engagement and set an energetic tone. Yes, I love the word game, the vocabularies, getting to know new words on how to use it, and also I noticed the audience were answering either by word of mouth here or chat box. We had answers on our chat, and the meeting was recorded before. No, it was not recorded early. It was recorded after when the president was starting the introduction and opening business session. The presiding officer began on time with the enthusiasm. Yes, we started promptly, exactly 7 p.m. We had started the meeting, and that's when the recording started. Attendees were informed about the club and what makes it advance. Yes, the president explained how we have in-depth evaluation at Advanced Toastmasters, and we have targets in advancing our education goals. The meeting guidelines and renaming convention were stated clearly. Yes, the SAA had was invited to guide us on how we have to rename ourselves. Though she had a technical challenge, I think our SAA, Catherine, had a technical challenge today, and the president stepped in to help us with how renaming and stated everything. Minutes were adopted using parliamentary procedure. Yes, the president mentioned that the minutes were shared in our WhatsApp group and it was adopted, and mentioned that we have renewing session. Yeah. The club executive committee was introduced and visiting Toastmasters and guests were recognized. I really liked the way the president introduced all the role takers, all the EXCO members, and asked them a leading question, which was, when was the last time you did something spontaneous, something unique that kept everyone engaging when you're answering your role taker, your executive role? Well, before you gave your report, you answered the question and something unique. I really like that. You also mentioned you have an apology from our VPM, VPPR, and the secretary also had a chance to be recognized, and the guests were recognized, and also the guests had a chance to answer to the question that was being asked. The ESCO, it was so involving, and everyone, I think, felt they were part of the team. The Toastmaster of the day was introduced befittingly. Yes, she was welcomed befittingly, and that was commendable. Toastmaster of the day. The Toastmaster of the day introduced the theme, explaining its relevance to the audience. You mentioned you had some quotes that you mentioned that were relating to the theme, and also mentioned how the online presence, the unique thing, the online presence that we have. You mentioned, how do we know that enough is enough? In your question, how do we know that enough is enough? And also mentioned finish line keeps on moving. And I had some stoic ideas. You had mentioned some stoic ideas and authors that were looked in depth into the theme. Then the transitions were smooth and energy was maintained throughout the meeting. Yes, I felt the energy, it was smoothly transitioned, and the Toastmaster of the day managed the time well. I like the point when you mentioned when a leader doesn't know when it is enough. You had so many information that kept us thinking through about and being enough. On the prepared speeches, speakers were evidently prepared. We had Toastmaster, two speakers, Makori and Fatma. They were well prepared. Their speeches were well delivered. Speeches took the allotted time from our timer, 7 minutes and for our first speaker and 6 minutes to our second speaker. Toastmaster of the day also took the allotted time and gave participants a chance to speak, even starting from a volunteer, Vice President Education, Kevin Rubia, though didn't finish on time. We took some 4 minutes. The session was well conducted, and I like the fact one of our speakers had a chance to speak up. Though she was in a moving vehicle, she turned on the camera and we could see her responding to the question. On our evaluation, all the evaluations are role takers. It was so intense and everybody delivered according to the roles that they were supposed to answer. And taking up this role was so I've been learning. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Jackie. That was a fantastic evaluation. Very detailed, very comprehensive. Looks like you're really listening in to everything that we were speaking about today. But before we wrap up, let's do just a bit of a recap. And I do promise there's no exam at the end. The next time you feel the urge for more, just pause and ask yourself, what am I really chasing? And will this bring contentment or just unlock the next level of hunger? Reflect on your definition of success as a leader. What truly matters? Is it relationships? Is it health? Is it learning? Is it impact? Is it integrity? And your goals really reflect that. Take inventory of your workload and commitments. What's weighing you down? What can you delegate, stop, or simplify to make room for what really matters? And when comparison or pressure creeps in, remind yourself, I am enough. What I have is enough, and I can lead from that place. With that, my work here is done, and I'll now gracefully step off the stage and hand the meeting back to our President, Robert. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Jacque and Njonjo, for that amazing meeting. Let us put our hands together. Let us show her some love with the emojis that we have at our disposal. Thank you for such an educational and such a smoothly run meeting. I really thoroughly enjoyed myself every step of the way with all those lessons. I feel edified. I feel like I am more prepared to be a leader in future in terms of how emotionally and mentally I approach the idea of being enough and what we are working towards as a team. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Jacque and Njonjo, for that amazing meeting. Thanks to all of us, all the role takers who are joining us from other clubs, and to our guests who joined us this evening. Please tell us whether you loved our meeting this evening in the chat. We would really love to have you back in future meetings. Our next meeting is going to be on the 13th of March, same time, same place. It's going to be online. And right now, I'd like to announce the results of the polls very quickly. First up, we have the best table topic speaker. Drum rolls. The best table topic speaker was Dr. Kevin Rubia. The best evaluator this evening was Toastmaster Serah Wanjiku. Congratulations. And the best speaker was drumrolls, future DTM Ali Makori. Congratulations to you. Members, please remember to submit your dues for the next renewal period before March 30th. Please submit them to our super grammarian, best evaluator, Serah Wanjiku. She has put a message in our chat. And if you'd like to become a member of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club, this is a great time for you to join us during the renewal period. please reach out to our VPM, Gilbert Rutembemberwa. His contacts have been put in the chat. And if you'd like to take a role in our next meeting, also please reach out to Dr. Kevin Rubia, our Vice President Education. It was a great pleasure to be the chair for this meeting. It was a great pleasure to have each and every one of you this evening. And I would like to wish you a great weekend ahead. I hope it's going to be a restful one, and looking forward to seeing each and every one of you for our meeting on the 13th of March. I would now like to declare that this meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night.